Are you satisfied with your understanding of sustainability? If you are not, imagine a journey together, a pluralistic one, with academia, innovators, startups, NGOs, all looking for solutions to the greatest challenge of our time. My name is Samuele Tini, and this is the Sustainability Journey. We have reached episode 11, and today we are going to explore an innovative startup that is trying to work out a new solution for ESG reporting using also artificial intelligence. How? Why? And for that reason, we have here the business development manager, Marta Bojarzyńska.
Hi, hello. Nice to be here, Samuel.
Marta, can you tell us a bit about yourself, how you ended up in sustainability and what took you there?
Okay, that's great. Thanks, Samuel. So my background is in business development, marketing, and sustainability. Both in my current and previous role, I supported companies' growth at the very early stages of their development. I was moving around the world a little bit, and that's also how my journey with my current company has started. Around 10 years ago, I've graduated from my master's degree in Poland. Then I started my professional career in England. Then I spent over 4 years in Asia. In Asia, I was based in Hong Kong, and I supported growth of one of the first networks of entrepreneurs, co-working spaces in Asia. And I was, very, very excited to support it at the very early stages of the development, and the company has grew very rapidly at that time. And I headed back to Europe in 2016, and this was to support my current company's growth in the European market. And this company is focused on the sustainability technology, and it's called Turnkey Group. So that's how my journey in the sustainability technology field has started. So I've been in a sustainability technology industry for 5 years now. And it's extremely exciting and fast evolving industry. I'm very glad to be part of it.
Oh, wonderful. That's a very diverse. You are really a globetrotter, and I can see your interest in startup and entrepreneurship, even from your previous experiences. So Turnkey, can you explain maybe what is it, what are you doing, and also what are you trying to solve?
Turnkey, it's a sustainability technology provider for corporates and investors. It's a new solution, but it's already validated, and it's been used by many companies in the market. We've been, as I told you, I've joined the company at the very early stages of the development of the product in 2016, and this is when the journey has started. What Turnkey does, it helps companies to measure their sustainability performance. When talking about the sustainability, we're considering environmental, social, and governance aspects. And we also help companies to link it to their operational and financial performance. The product that Turnkey provides is the data analytics platform to streamline and automate sustainability data collection and reporting process, and analytics to track companies' performance against targets and identify inefficiencies, areas that need improvement within the organization. I highlight this point also, on the analytics, because we really believe that the compliance shall not be the only reason why the companies or investors should look at the sustainability, but actually it's one of the drivers, very important driver, but we also look at the sustainability within the business to help the businesses to identify areas of improvements and at the same time drive financial performance. We also work with investors, and we help them to track sustainability performance of their portfolio companies. And here we understand that the ultimate goal for investors is to maximize value of the investments. So while working with the portfolio companies, our technology supports them not only to do the sustainability reporting, which might be mandatory, but also to demonstrate the sustainability strategy with verified data, and again, drive operational performance and financial performance of the investor's portfolio.
That is fascinating. So it's really You can see also the importance of data analytics and the revolution. I was reading a few days ago also, there was in Sustainability Nature one article about artificial intelligence and the impact on SDG, and really your solution go in that line. Especially I like the way you highlight the analytics, that is not only for the compliance, for the taxonomy, but is also for the actual improvement in the to drive performance, and also so that's why enhance the sustainability uptake. Can you tell us a bit more? What is your revenue stream, and which are also the collaboration, how it works, the EI and everything?
Starting with the AI side, we provide a software solution and we work with the proprietary data of the companies, meaning this is the private data of each of the companies that we work with. So we actually try to measure the actual performance. And additionally, we help them, to do the what if scenarios. And this is when the AI comes in, plus the external benchmarking at the time when they are ready for that. AI, it's extremely important, but in order to get the basic needs to be covered. So what we do first, we help companies to identify the most material aspects within their operations. So let's say if it's a manufacturing company, in terms to monitor the environmental impact, carbon emissions, we would look at, as an example, electricity, water, waste consumption metrics. And based on the consumption of those metrics, our platform would automatically calculate emission impact. Later on, the analytics tool helps you to give you insights, helps you to identify inefficiencies. As an example, which locations within a company is less efficient in terms of electricity consumption per unit of production when it comes to manufacturing companies. So this is, first of all, we kind of baseline the company's performance. Once this is done and the company, does know what's their current status, what's their current performance, later on, we can take it further and we can look at, let's say, external benchmarking. And this is where also the public data comes into place. And it's more like AI-oriented solution when we compare private data within the company with the publicly available data. So let's say at that point, the company would be able to see how do they perform against their competitors in their field. We highlight that this is at the later stage of the development. First of all, we would focus on looking at the proprietary data of the company and also, adjusting the sustainability. And we help also companies to develop the sustainability roadmap based on the specific case, because we work with multiple companies and there are companies, just at the initial stage of their sustainability journey, others more advanced, which might be able, to look straight away at setting targets within their organization or going into external benchmarking. But usually, although, it's pretty trendy thing to talk about, usually first thing is to focus on really tackling your internal data and internal performance. So that's the approach we're taking.
That's incredible and fascinating. You are opening up a world really of how to use the data and really unlocking the sustainability for the company, going deeply inside their operation, and especially, as you discussed, especially, for example, for the manufacturing. Can you share us some practical examples, some case study or some success stories from your experience where you have seen the impact really of your solution?
Usually, the main driver of companies to start their sustainability journey would be compliance or investors' pressure or stock exchange regulation. So let's say in Europe, recently we've seen lots of developments in the EU taxonomy that has established much more rigorous requirements this year. So that might be one aspect. Another aspect is investors' pressure, that investor require the companies to report on sustainability performance. because they want to mitigate risk within their portfolio. Another key driver comes from stock exchanges. Currently, especially in Asia, as an example, Hong Kong, Singapore Stock Exchange require pre-listed and listed companies to report on ESG on mandatory basis. So this is currently what we see in Asian market, but we see it also, expanding in other markets. What happened with the case study I'm relating to? Actually, they contacted us. They wanted to do sustainability at the beginning just because investors asked them to do so. So that was the main motivation, And we have other cases, that the companies do sustainability because they have to comply. Let's say they have to report according to GRI framework or UNPRI or TCFD or SDGs because of the compliance requirement or because the investors asking them to. That's one of the things we focus on. We help them to streamline those, basic requirements that they need to cover. And this is what happened with this company. So this company have contacted us because they were pressured by investors and they had to start to report on sustainability. This is the company comes from a manufacturing sector in consumer goods, and we've been working with them since 2016. When we started working with them, they did not have sustainability strategy in place, and they have never had established sustainability data collection process in place. At the beginning, entire team was very skeptical. They also did not have assigned person in the team, just assigned to sustainability. And they were doing at the beginning very minimum to satisfy the investors. And we've guided them through the process, started with the training, setting up the data collection process and so on. Yeah, but as I said, at the beginning, they were very skeptical and they were doing that only because they had to. But what happened within the first year of using Turnkey's platform, they managed to identify significant operational inefficiencies in one of their locations. So they identified that one of their manufacturing plants, they have 3 manufacturing plants at the moment, and one of them was much less efficient than another one in terms of electricity and water consumption to start with per production unit. They straight away within the first year, based on this, they managed to find over 250,000 of USD savings. Then, the team suddenly they started to see a huge opportunity within managing sustainability data, and management also started being more engaged, and they started to expand the area of sustainability metrics measurements from basics like energy, water, waste for manufacturing companies. They also expanded it to social metrics as an example. So in terms of social metrics, they are looking also now at staff turnover rates. We also help them, to look at the aspects which may contribute to staff turnover rates, such as gender equality within the company, the training opportunities that you offer to the staff, because we very often talk that there are cost savings opportunities within the environmental metrics, but social metrics are also extremely impactful, and it also impact financial performance of the company. So this is one of the case study, when the company was pretty skeptical, and now they started winning the leadership awards, ESG report awards, and in 2020, they were actually sold to the US multinational Kimberly-Clark, and they tripled the deal value. And the new owner of the Kimberly-Clark, officially said that sustainability profile of the company was one of the key driver of expediting the deal, and why was it so smooth. It's one of the examples, why we believe ticking the compliance box for sustainability, it's important, right? But going beyond it, if you really go beyond it, then it's when you really can look at the real value that sustainability can bring to the company or to the investors when we work with investors.
I am shocked by this wonderful case study. So, really, as you said, from the compliance side, now is going towards really the key and the heart of the company on the operation, and with tangible savings. I can imagine the team that started, as you said, a bit skeptical when he realized the potential and has seen the numbers, I'm sure the leadership came on board very quickly. And of course, what you mentioned, the prices and even the fact that they've been bought, and also that one was highlighted, that it's really something that it's important and really shows the benefits of your solution. And I highlight that 1 year, it is not a long time. So it's really delivering solution very fast thanks to the data and the analytics you are giving. Let me ask you, do you stop there or you have even further collaboration? How you do? Because I'm getting excited to see, have you deployed your solution even in other, because you have discussed about the manufacturing side, you have discussed and you told us about the investors and also the financial risk. Where are you going? Where is your limit? Because I see an incredible potential.
Thank you, Samuel. That's very flattering. So actually, the reason why we work with investors and their portfolio companies is because the solution is adaptable for multiple industry needs. So, the manufacturing is just one of the example of the profile of company that we work with, but we work with companies from many industries. The other area we look at, it's supply chain and logistics. Maybe I can talk a little bit about that as well. So the Turnkey's technology has a broad application in this area, and it actually comes from supply chain background because Turnkey's founders have over 20 years experience in supply chain management, and they've created Turnkey. Initially, they spotted significant gap in the market in terms of lack of the data transparency, especially sustainability data transparency in supply chains. One of the projects in this area that Turnkey's technology is applied is a project with Clean Cargo. And Clean Cargo is the United Nations backed organization in the logistics, specifically in the cargo shipping industry. So it's an organization, it's the leading, as they call, buyer-supplier forum. They would gather both the companies from cargo shipping industry, such as Maersk and other players, and also shippers, as an example. Plenty of companies, just to give you some examples: Nike, H&M, IKEA, and so on. So it's a big organization that gathers both representation from buyer and supplier side. And as a part of this project, Turnkey's platform manages over 80% of global ocean logistics data. So it helps to benchmark the data and it helps to calculate the carbon footprint in the logistics sector globally. What happens next with this data? This data can be used later on by shippers, such as the names of the companies that I just mentioned you about, to identify the best logistics provider to them, right? So that's where the sector is going. And so apart from choosing the provider because of course, the financial, because of the price, they can also look at the sustainability credential and the impact of the shipment. So this is one of the examples where we also work on them on the supply chain logistics sides. But we also, with every company we work with, once they come and they are comfortable with the internal sustainability data measurements, we encourage them to go and look at the supply chain. So we would also help them to map the data from starting with tier 1, going to tier 2, tier 3 suppliers, and so on. And yeah, it's becoming more important. When we started in 2016, we felt that the market was not ready yet to go that deep with the data collection, but now it's starting getting there. And with the new compliance requirements, such as the EU taxonomy, the SFDR, which actually states that the Scope 3 data collection will be mandatory from 2023. Yeah, I believe this should be really key area to focus on for the companies. Also, considering that you must have probably read that for many companies, like Scope 3 emissions, it's over 80% of the emissions for many of the big retail players, companies, the logistics piece and suppliers. Emissions are most of the emissions within the company.
That's another fascinating angle, and really how your solution can tackle, as you rightly say, the supply chain, because that is where in a globalized world and globalized supply chain, and especially for the brand that you had mentioned, especially in the fashion industry, supply chain is where most of a good part of the emission is emitted. enabling them to choose and enabling them to have a cleaner cargo, it's really something that it can boost, as you said, the scope 3 emission and the work that you are doing. It's a really fascinating solution. I'm really getting very interested and excited because it's really in few years you have disrupted and done a wonderful job. Especially you are helping companies to really not just pay lip service to sustainability, but go through the data inside the operation and the work and really change, and which is a real important step. Talking about change, maybe can you tell us a bit about it, and then can you tell us a bit about it and discuss, your experience in change in industries, because usually it's not always easy, and how industry are engaging with sustainability, because that will be an interesting aspect.
Since the beginning of my professional career, I've supported startup companies. So I've joined companies at the very initial stages of their growth. I'm pretty, used to work with kind of unstructured, fast-paced environment, and adding into it sustainability and technology, it becomes even faster evolving environment, because as you know, sustainability evolves extremely fast. So we need to stay on the top of the new compliance requirements, market trends, customer expectations. And apart from that, technology and the development of the technology, different types of analytics, it's another area that also develops pretty fast. So it's extremely important to stay on the top of both. Me personally, as you know, I'm kind of used to be in this fast-paced environment. It's extremely challenging, but also it feels I feel extremely engaged to be able, to see so much happening within the industry, and I feel happy also for it, because apart from being able, to streamline the company growth, it's also you can feel at the same time that you do something good for in general for the planet as well, because I'm also helping to promote the solution that can help to measure the environmental impact, emissions impact of the companies. So, and if you measure, you can put actions in place to reduce, right?
I think it's very personal view. I think putting yourself in change and being able also to work in this unstructured environment, it's really something that can help. And so you can be a real catalyst for change in the industries, and especially bringing up your innovative solution. As a last question, usually we ask this, you're working in a startup in entrepreneurship. It's really, and also you are a woman leader. Which is your message for the audience that you want to leave, especially for people that work in the field of sustainability?
My main message would be to try to look at the sustainability as a part of business value creation strategy, not just as a must-do exercise, because I believe, this is something, sustainability is already something that company really needs to think about if they haven't started yet.
It's wonderful, Marta. It's really touching, and it's really putting the art of sustainability and showing your passion. I am very grateful for these episodes. And I usually say that, when we have people of an innovative startup like yours, to have a follow-up episode and to discuss maybe in 1 year what you are going and how you are expanding and even creating more impact. So I want really to thank you, and really to already book you for another follow-up episode maybe in 1 year time.
Thank you very much, Samuel. It was great to be with you.
Thank you so much, Marta. We will talk soon. Thank you so much. Bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Are you satisfied after this wonderful episode? In the next one, we will talk about land restoration. Stay tuned.